Careful! Champagne! Oh, he's got a roll! Oh! Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Well, today, hot off the press from ICM in the Ukraine, they have just brought out their 1/72 scale M2 Bradley Infantry Fighting Vehicle IFV. And of course this is pretty topical at the moment. I think many of us have seen these vehicles actually in action in Ukraine. Pretty much the same model, I think. The earlier models that have been donated to them, shall we say, I'm not sure what the arrangement was, but they've acquired them and they've been given a fantastic account of themselves. I mean, we've seen a couple of these Bradleys doing things that I didn't think were possible. One took on a T90 tank and blew the hell out of it. I just couldn't believe my eyes. You know, knocking seven lumps of crud out of a T90 by basically using its Bushmaster chain gun to just gun off all the ancillary and targeting equipment on the turret of the T90, which is on paper is a superior heavy tank, heavy main battle tank, and it just blew off all its sort of eyes and ears, basically blew everything off because of this rapid firing gun, which I don't know who was in that Bradley, obviously. We don't need to know, but whoever it was a very skilled operative. The gunner was amazing. I've seen such gunnery. It's just astonishing, and it knocked this tank out in the end, and they abandoned it. I've never seen anything like it. It's quite remarkable. I'm sure many of you will know the incident I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, go and look on YouTube. Anyway, moving on. ICM, obviously in Ukraine, having a bit of a tough time at the moment. They've had some delays with some of their new products like the Handley Page Hamden. So this one is actually a rebox of a Revell kit from 2001, which makes me a bit nervous, but I think it's going to be okay. It also comes with the perfect companion. Now this is the US armoured vehicle, so it's not in actually Ukrainian trim, this particular release, this issue. It's in the American sort of turn of the century, 1990s to 2000s trim. So let me just show you this lovely paint set they've sent through. So this is their typical acrylic paint set, US armoured vehicles showing the Bradley, and we have got camouflage green, green brown, middle stone, lime green, German field grey and off-white. And there they all are on the side. And you can see how you would employ the differing options there in terms of the two schemes. You've got like a American Bradley in the sort of winter scheme, and then more of a summer scheme here. So you can almost say it's like an Arctic scheme or a Vietnam, Southeast Asia type scheme. Generalising a little bit, I know. Very, very nice set though. So that's set number 3087, and as I say, that goes with your new Bradley set beautifully. So let's have a look at the kit then, see what we got. It's only 72nd scale, so it shouldn't take us too long, I don't think. This should be that'll seem quite small, I think, like the recent things from ICM. What we have on the side, by the way, sorry, it is kit number 72912. On the side we have got, got four marking options. And it looks like they've sold some to West Germany, because they've certainly got a German version. Fort Greeley 1984, then we've got Fort Hood in 1985, mid-80s West Germany. Is that in German service? That's what I'm trying to establish. I can't quite make that out. We'll get to that later. And then Shadow Hawk 87, which I think is an exercise. It says, oh, it doesn't give us a write-up on the side. Actually, it doesn't give, because it's quite a small box. That's why. So I think the details will be inside. I've got a feeling that is a German one, isn't it? Because that's probably why Revell tooled it, I think, in the first place. Let's have a look at what we've got anyway, because I haven't seen a Bradley kit before ever. I know there's a really nice one out from Chinese company whose name escapes me. You're probably all shouting at the screen because you know. Came out about a year ago. It's a really nice one, I believe. Sorry about that, folks. We just had a bit of a power cut there. I think the lights all flash. We've got this storm going on, Storm Amy at the moment, as I'm filming this. And the power sort of fluctuated. There was a bit of a flash and the power went off on my camera. It's done that once before when there was bad weather. So apologies. I was just talking about the Bradley and saying that I think the Germans, there's a Chinese company that came out with it. Is it Magic Factory? I think it was Magic Factory, wasn't it, in China? They came out with a 35th scale Bradley in the last 12 months, and it's a really nice one, apparently. I haven't actually had my hands on that one yet, which is a bit of a shame, really. I should probably get a copy of it. So, one of my friends at Gary over at Tiger Hobbies, I think. Oh, well, it is pretty small. Well, we thought it was going to be not very big, didn't we? So, see, it's a little tiny kit. It's quite an affordable kit. This is under £20, I think. And yet they've gone to the effort of, and this is what I complained about with Rifle Model recently, they've gone to the effort of doing a full history write-up. And, you know, several, 2 or 3 paragraphs of history. Hats off to you, ICM. Well done. So it says, the M2 Bradley infantry fighting vehicle entered service with the US Army in 1981. Was it that long ago? Good Lord. It was, I mean, really, if you think about it, it was almost a copy, I don't mean a literal copy, but a similar concept anyway, to the Elvis, the FV 101 series, you know, the Scorpion type vehicles that the British have got. I think the Americans realised that that was quite a good concept and they needed their own. So they got one and sort of, you could argue, did it better, but because it was much more modern. Anyway, it was developed through a long-term program called Mechanised Infantry Combat Vehicle, which aimed to create a protected, highly manoeuvrable transport for mechanised units of the US Army. The vehicle was named after Omar Bradley, the legendary American general of World War II, known really from D-Day onwards. The M2 Bradley serves a dual purpose, transporting motorised infantry units during combat and providing fire support. It features a traditional layout with the engine positioned at the front of the hull to better protect the crew. So it's got the engine between the engine is between the crew and any incoming fire, which is fair enough. And at the back it's like an armoured personnel carrier, of course. Both the hull and turret are constructed from aluminium alloy reinforced with other metals to increase their damage resistance. Gosh. This armour configuration provides all-round protection against 14.5 armour-piercing incendiary bullets. That's what they must have tested it with, gosh. The Bradley's primary weapon is the M242 25mm automatic Bushmaster cannon, capable of penetrating 66mm of thick, homogeneous steel armour. Well, we've seen that in action. It's an amazing gun. It's the rate of fire, though. It fires so fast, there's nothing you can do. Once they start firing at you, you're in deep trouble because the shells just keep coming. Yeah, it's almost like a machine gun almost. A big one. Yeah, an 1-inch machine gun. For engaging enemy armoured vehicles, a dual launcher or for BGM 71 tow missile is mounted on the side of the turret. Well, we saw this used in the Gulf War, the first Gulf War Desert Storm, of course. And it was very effective. Throughout its service life, the vehicle has undergone various modifications and improvements that have significantly enhanced its protection capabilities. And of course, now it's in service in Ukraine. So it has a weight of, oh gosh, 22.5 tons. Wow. It's heavy, isn't it? It sounds heavy to me, that. But for a tank, it's not. It's got a length of 6.5 metres, width of 3.2 metres, height's 2.5 metres. It's got a diesel 500 horsepower VTA 903T engine, diesel. Maximum speed 66 kilometres, what's that, 45 miles an hour, so it's like a Scorpion. my camera has just gone off yet again, so I'm going to have to stitch this one together in the editing suite, aren't I? Good job I can do that now. I don't know what's going on. We've got this storm going on. It's definitely affecting the power. So I've unplugged it and left it on battery now, but that means we've got limited time. Anyway, it shouldn't take too long. So, ooh, okay. Wow. Okay, let's have a look at this then. Zoom you in. Our decals, including Dangerous Dan. Look at that, Dangerous Dan. That's cool. Yep, so we've got some fairly rudimentary decals, a little bit of markings just for the individual, like registration numbers and things, and that's about it really. Which is fine. All good. And then we've got instructions. This instruction book seems quite bigger than I was expecting. Have we got, what sort of tracks have we got? Caterpillar tracks, Lincoln length. I think we've got Lincoln length. Okay. You can tell this is a Revell product because it's got the green punkt, the green dot on it, which they went mad for, of course, in the 80s and 90s. And it's not in the usual ICM bag. So, I'm going to zoom out slightly. Let's have a look at these instructions then. So we've got our sprue map on the left, and then we start off almost matchbox style really, isn't it? Start off building up our road wheels and the drive sprockets and the idle wheels, putting them onto the side plate where all the torsion bar and the suspension is. Same on the opposite side. You can even tell the artwork's different to ICM's diagrams, isn't it? Then we've got the tracks going on. It's Lincoln length tracks, interestingly. So yeah, so they don't move or anything, obviously, but they'll be relatively quick to put together. Not as quick as a rubber band, though. Which I think at this scale, rubber bands are okay. I think it's when you get to the bigger scales I don't like them. Then you've got your bathtub style hull, and you've got your internal covers for the transmission housing at the front. You've got your crew compartment access hatch at the back being built up there, complete with the armour plate and all the hinges which go on it, of course. And this is all inverted upside down. Going in there, and then you've got some stowage boxes that are going on the back here. Then you've got your top deck, so to speak, and you've got your... Is that... Oh, it's got... I didn't realise it's got gun ports at the side on this version of the Bradley. I didn't know that. Don't know much about the Bradley though. I'm not very knowledgeable on this one. So it's got side gun ports. It's got two on each side for the look of it. Is it 2 or is it 4? Let me have a look at that in a minute. I need to know. Yeah, it's got 2 on each side. Yep, that's impressive. So it's got 4 guns sticking out there already. Wow, no wonder it's giving the problems for the Russians. So you're putting those gun ports in. Then you've got your front headlights to go on, and you've got your front armour plate that goes right in front of the engine there. And you've got things like your barrel cleated equipment, the top engine deck, and you've got some hooks and some stowage areas going on there, brackets as well. You've got your side armour skirt that's going to go and protect the top of the track. What looks like is that for towing? I'm not quite sure what that's for. Just looking at what this bracket's for, I'm trying to get my head around that. Anyway, that goes on there like a framework, and then you got your side armour again going to the other side, protection over the exhaust, so it's like a hand protection so you don't put your hands on the hard exhaust. Then you've got your turret coming in here, and you're going to build in a machine gun. It's quite small, the turret. It's almost like an armoured car, isn't it, really? You've got your glasses going on. You're going to have a rotating and tilting turret. You've got your commander's hatch going on here, and there's a armour plate to protect the aerial at the side. You've got your turret ring coming in here, and then you've got your ammunition. Pretty sure it's the ammunition stowage area at the back. Because these American vehicles, they tend to have ammo storage safely out the back. And then here you've got your Chainmaster 25mm 1-inch cannon. Fantastic. And then this is the TOW 71 TOW missile. missile launcher system that's going to go on the side. And it has like a protective cover that flips open, of course. It's got rangefinder, night vision, all that stuff. All part of the aiming and targeting suite. Goes on the side, on the port side, and then you bring your completed turret down onto your hull, and you've got quite an impressive fighting vehicle. Yes, it's got more to it than I realised, the Bradley. I didn't realise it had these gun ports on the sides. It's like a battleship, isn't it? Anyway, there we go. Nice markings here. This is the Fort Greely 1984 version. Sort of a winter Arctic camo. Then we've got the Fort Hood version, which is a bit more like you might have seen in Desert Storm, I think, in terms of colours. And then we've got the West Germany, and it's actually used by the Germans. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, I'm very confident it is. So it's obviously supplied to West Germany. They've got some here, 1980s, and then finally Exercise Shadow Hawk. Again, a bit of a Gulfy, almost a Gulfy scheme with a bit of a two-tone camo. Very nice, very nice. I must say I like it so far. The only thing I've not liked about this review so far is the fact that my camera keeps cutting me off. It's done it twice. I'm on the third segment, so if the quality of today's imagery is not quite as high as you used to, it will be because I've had to edit it and I've had to do a little bit of post-production changes, shall we say, to basically stitch together 3 different bits of video into one. Very annoying. Anyway, it won't take us long. Let's just cut this open and we'll get cracking. How best to do it though? Now then, bear with me. You probably hear noises in the background. It's the Storm Amy. It's really causing some problems. It's very wet and very windy this weekend. First weekend in October as I record this. Alright, let's have a look. So this is a Revell moulding, so be advised. But their armoured fighting vehicles are actually not bad in their small scales. They very much following on from the sort of Spirit and Matchbox style. Of course they bought all the moulds, didn't they, from Matchbox. They've got the rights to use them. Quite good detail there with your suspension, all your suspension details, your shockers and everything coming out of the side. And again, nice moulding, actually quite un-Revell-like, you might say. Nice sharp moulding, clean on those protective side skirts that go over the tracks. And then we've got the tracks themselves here, link and length track. And then you've got the individual links here for where it goes around the corners. I think it's going to be a bit fiddly, you know. This is the one downside to this as a concept. I think it's great on 35th scale. Not quite so sure that I like it on such a small scale. I think that rubber bands would have been absolutely fine at this. That's just my opinion. Right, then we have got... It looks tiny, doesn't it, really? Then we've got all our wheels and bits of the turret, etc. Zoom in for this. So what have we got here? We've got the turret and the turret ring. And we've got all the road wheels. As so. Drive sprockets. And the idler wheels here. And here we've got this is our tow rocket launcher here. And then we've got our... Is that that almost looks like a bazooka, doesn't it? Like another rocket launcher. That's interesting. That's different. I don't think that was mentioned in the instructions. I don't recall it. But these parts are beautifully moulded, in fairness. Give Revell, you know, the credit where it's due. Their moulding look really good. Nothing wrong with that at all. And then we've got a separate, different design. Now, why is that? This is a separate design of side protection. I didn't notice that in the instructions either, if I'm honest. Just go back to that. So I've got some slight queries here. Just want to clarify this. See what they're on about. Did we get any options mentioned? Can't say I recall that. It's just maybe there's other versions. It only showed the one. What did it say? 116, 117. 116? Make any sense at all? What are you talking about? Yeah, you're going to be totally confused. Well, that's a little bit baffling because the actual part numbers bear no relation to what's written in the instructions. Part 116 and 117 don't exist. That's a bit odd, isn't it? There's been a little bit, something's been lost in translation here, I think. Anyway, I'm not going to dwell on that, but there is an optional skirt anyway, we'll just get that. Then, finally, you've got the top, the main top of the hull, the top deck as it were. This is quite nice, I've got to say. There we go. Yes, and also you've got the back here, fighting compartment complete with the access hatch, and then that is the hatch itself. Where's the back plate for that? I can't see that. Where is that? I didn't see it at all. Or is that it? That is it, okay. But the moulding's really nice actually. It's not like the usual terrible Revell that I'm used to. Quite a nice example of a Revell kit. They've done well here. This is when they were still owned by, I think they were still owned by the Americans at this point. Am I right? I think they were. So it's kind of around the time that the ownership changed. But you know, again, the detail here is really nice and crisply moulded. That beautiful. No complaints at all on the quality. Just a bit of confusion about clarity on the instructions. Yeah, a strange one. That has got me a little bit confused there. They seem to have got something's been lost in translation between the Ukrainian and the German. But on the numbers, yeah? It's quoting numbers and part numbers. In the sprue guide at the front, they're correct, but there is a sprue missing, so it's only partially correct. 116 and 117. Something's not right here. Something is actually wrong. There is a sprue that has those numbers on, but it's not included in the kit. Not here. That sprue's not here. That sprue's not here at all. There's a problem. There's a problem here. There is no part 116 and 117. Let me just show you so you know that I'm not making this up. I haven't lost anything because I took them out as they were. But there should be an additional sprue. This is I'm going to have to report this to ICM because it's clearly an issue. There should be this additional sprue, the one that you're looking at now, at the bottom right of your screen. And that does indeed include those parts that it should have. But they're not. That sprue simply is not present in this kit that I've just opened. So that's a bit of an issue. So that's a bit of a worry. That's all that was in the bag, those, and there is a sprue missing basically. So that is a bit disappointing. So bit of a shame, because I was about to give it quite a high score. I was going to give it 9.75, but I can't do that with a sprue not there. Anyway, I suppose I have to turn a blind eye for that to a degree. The moulding is really excellent. Better than I was expecting. Much better when I realised it was Revell. Right in there as well. So the moulding is excellent. The instructions are excellent if the parts were right. Parts were all correct. Brilliant write-up, great history. Done a good job of giving us the information about what this vehicle is all about. Sorry, I'm just trying to... But there is a sprue missing. The sprue is literally not there. And that's the sprue that kind of makes it different. So it's basically, I'm not sure it's actually an M2 version that's in that box. Anyway, I'll go back to ICM and ask them to clarify that and explain what the problem is. Because we've never had that before, and it's something that's been... It's almost like the people at Revell have packed the wrong set of Bradleys, or the wrong set of sprues for the version they're trying to do. So I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. I think that overall that's kind of fair. But it is better than I was expecting. The parts, cleanliness and the detail is great, you know, really nice. But it would be nice if the whole kit was in the box. So 9 out of 10, it's not a bad score, but I'll ask ICM to clarify that, and I'll ask them to check to make sure that I haven't just got a rogue myself and that the others are all correct, you know. I mean, there's so few sprues, you can't lose one easily, it's just not possible, so a bit odd. And they actually provide another sprue which isn't mentioned in the instructions as well, so there's definitely, like, they've selected the wrong bags, the wrong version to send off to ICM, and somebody hasn't realised, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, there we go. I hope that wasn't too disappointing, but I think as overall, if they get it right, if they can just correct that, then that'd be fine, because it's a nice enough kit. Yeah, nicely moulded at that scale. A real clean, crisp rendition, actually. So I think the 9 out of 10, under the circumstances, is fair. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you'll join me again for plenty more coming soon. Hopefully without any more power cuts. Not sure what that was all about. Stay with me, and we shall have plenty more for you to see in the not too distant future. In the meantime, thanks very much for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe to Peter Goes Rogue. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Give us a like. But please do subscribe to the channel. There's lots of interesting things you can see on there. And I'll be back in the not too distant future. In the meantime, thanks very much for joining me. Take care. Look after yourselves. Until next time, thanks a lot. And bye for now.